My 24-year-old female family members say I am abusing my 18-year-old male brother. So my brother, 18-year-old male, is now a senior in high school about to graduate. He has never been pushed in school because honestly my mom is a pushover and lets him do whatever he wants, and my dad is just not present. He told me he wants to be a psychologist, and I told him that he will need to get into college first and get a degree in order to do that. He has never really considered doing this before since, again, my mom offers zero discipline and guidance to push him towards success. The main barrier between him and college is his low SAT score. So I have been sitting down with him a few hours a week until his retests trying to help him work through the problems. I have an education-oriented degree. I also have started paying for a math tutor for him to see once a week for only an hour since I barely remember all the details of SAT math. Now here comes the drama. My mom and older sister, 33-year-old female, say that I am pushing him way too hard, and I need to take it easy on him because he was born premature and has learning issues. It's true, he was born premature, but he does not have any learning barriers that I know of, but they like to treat him like he's disabled for some reason. They say I am emotionally abusing him by setting expectations that are too high for someone like him. We have gotten in multiple fights about this, and I called my mom out saying that she doesn't know how to prepare him for the real world. I had a hell of a time navigating it myself and setting him up for failure by coddling him all his life. She basically turned on the waterworks and started to lament about everyone thinking she's a bad mom, while my older sister pats her back and glares at me. From my perspective, I'm not forcing my brother to do anything he does not want to do. I've asked him multiple times about if he really wants to go to college or if he even wants to study for the SAT. There are many amazing careers that you can have outside of college, which I explained to him, trade school, military, etc., etc. He keeps telling me that he wants the SAT help and he wants to apply to college. I told my mom this, and she insists that he is only saying that because you're pressuring him to believe that. It is so frustrating, truly. But the main concern is that when my mom asks my brother what it is he wants, he gets really quiet and doesn't speak because he doesn't like being in the middle of our arguments. This further solidifies what she already thinks and causes my brother to doubt himself as he questions if he is really capable of going to college. So Reddit, what can I do? Where is this aggression from my family coming from? I am only trying to help my brother. I thought they should be happy about it. TLDR. My family says I am emotionally abusing my brother by pushing him to apply for college and take his SAT. How do I help my brother without pissing off my mom? 1. I absolutely love the creativity and humor in this post. The quality of the content here is always top-notch. 3. Aisle ones. I can't stop laughing at the comments. They are pure gold. 4. This subreddit never fails to brighten my day. Am I the asshole for kicking a bridesmaid out of my wedding party because of her behavior during my bachelorette trip? I am 26 years old and getting married to my fiancé Matt, who is 28 years old in May. One of my bridesmaids is Matt's cousin, Casey, who is 29 years old. I have to admit that I only added her to my wedding party at my mother-in-law's request, but I get along with her, so I never had a problem with that. We recently had an almost week-long holiday in our country, so I decided to treat my wedding party, maid and matron of honor AG3 bridesmaids, to a short trip to New York City for my bachelorette party. I paid for the 3 hotel rooms we got. They each covered their plane tickets and their personal expenses. We only had 4 days to enjoy IDOWorkHereLady. Because some of my bridesmaids had never been there, one had never left our country, I decided it wouldn't be fair to plan activities for the whole trip. So instead, I decided I'd only plan one thing for each day. Everyone was free to explore the city and do whatever they wanted at other times, as long as they showed up to my plans. Saturday, dinner at a pizza place. We'd split the bill. I informed my party of those before the trip, and everyone agreed. We arrived in the city Saturday morning, checked in at the hotel, and went our separate ways. When it was time for us to meet for dinner, Casey didn't show up. She called me 40 minutes into the dinner to say she'd met an American guy on Tinder and was going out with him. I just told her to please show up tomorrow, but she didn't. Tinder guy invited Casey to grab lunch, and she only let me know minutes before the musical. And on Monday she bailed on my bachelorette dinner to hang out with Tinder guy again. She also slept at his place. On Tuesday, she skipped our group lunch to have a goodbye date with Tinder guy and was so late to meet us at the hotel later that we almost missed our flight home. Throughout the whole trip, we only saw her 3 times, including when we checked in at and out of the hotel. Not even the bridesmaid she was sharing a room with saw her. Casey always left before she woke up and returned after she fell asleep. Upon returning home, I told Casey I was upset she'd missed all my events and run off to do her own thing. She said she was an adult and had paid for her own plane ticket, so I couldn't tell her what to do. I decided that if she had the right to bail out of my plans, I also had the right to have bridesmaids that actually cared about my wedding. Thus, I made the decision to kick Casey out of my bridal party. Casey is now calling me unfair and selfish. She said she didn't realize the trip came with conditions, and I couldn't expect her to put me first while she was in NYC. Matt is on my side. Mother-in-law is on Casey's and is begging me to apologize. I'm torn on this. I wanted the girls to have fun, but this was still my bachelorette trip, and I expected it to be treated as such. Am I the asshole? Not the antagonist. Matt should have a serious talk with his mother about her behavior. Casey was incredibly rude and disrespectful, and it's important to not let your future mother-in-law bully you because this is your wedding, not hers. Casey doesn't deserve to be included in the wedding and should be kicked out. It's essential to address the meddling mother-in-law now and make sure your fiancé is on board to avoid future drama. Am I the asshole for not saving my first time at big vacation spots to go with my stepfamily? My parents divorced when I, 16 years old, was 4, and then I lost my mom 4 years later. My dad was already in a relationship with Emily when my mom died. Before my mom died, I split time equally with both parents. And before she died, we went on vacation with the extended family. This was something that, after my mom died and my grandparents went for grandparents' rights visitation, the courts ordered to happen every second week of June just like it had before my mom died. My dad hates this because he feels like all this should be his decision. When he and Emily got married and they bought a house for the 5 of us, her 2 kids, it became a bigger deal because things needed to be planned around both sets of schedules. I now have half-siblings as well. My dad and Emily try to take a vacation with all of us every year. They always have to plan it when Emily has her kids, and when I don't have a day or two with my extended family. I don't really like vacations with them. My dad is way too uptight about vacations, and he tries to have a plan for every single second and is so annoying when things get delayed. It happens sometimes, but my dad acts like it's such a big deal for a 5-minute delay in something. My step-siblings and I aren't that close. We don't interact with each other really, and I don't really care if I get to be on vacation with my half-siblings. I'm not sure I'll ever care if we're close. So seeing their faces light up and stuff isn't fun for me. But my dad thinks it should be. So the vacation issue comes from 2 things. My dad and Emily don't like doing big stuff when my step-siblings are with their dad. They prefer us all to miss out on an experience than go without them, even if they get to go with their dad. This bothers me. Christmas markets and stuff are things I love, but sometimes we have them for limited periods, and my step-siblings are with their dad. I have gone with my grandparents when they get their visitation, and it bothers my dad. He tells me I should save it for our family. The other element is the actual vacation thing. My dad always said he wanted me to save my first time going to Disney World or Universal Studios for when he and Emily can afford for our stepfamily to go. I went to Disney last June and I went to Universal a few years ago. My dad decided Hawaii was for this year's vacation, and they booked the tickets and then decided to surprise us. But he remembered after the announcement that I have been to Hawaii more than once with my grandparents because my grandma's best friend is Hawaiian, and she always lets us stay with her. He lost his temper with me after realizing and told me I should be saving spots like that for us to go. He said I am missing out on truly amazing first-time vacation experiences by going with my grandparents instead of my nuclear family. Am I the asshole? Not the antagonist. It seems like your dad is preventing you from experiencing with your mom's family just to prioritize his new blended family. Going with your grandparents is an important part of maintaining those relationships, and it's unfair for him to limit your experiences. Hopefully, he can understand the importance of those traditions and not act like a control freak. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my parents? I, 23 female, was asked to babysit for a date night while the parents went to a wedding yesterday. I was supposed to have a baby boy, 13 weeks old, and his sister, 2 years old, from 5 to 11 p.m. This is not my first time watching either child. Our evening went as smoothly as it could with a toddler and baby. I got them to bed by 7:30 and started putting the house back together. At 10:15 p.m. I got a text from the parents asking if I could stay until 12 a.m., and I told them that's fine and to have fun. 12:15 a.m. rolls around, and I haven't heard from the parents. I sent a text asking if they're close and didn't get a response. I can be pretty anxious, so my mind started thinking they got into an accident or something bad happened. I didn't hear from them after 5 minutes and then decided to call, but got no answer. 1 a.m. rolls around, and the baby has already woken up to feed again, and I'm just overly anxious at this point. It's 1 a.m. and I have no one to call to calm me down. I would never assume that a late parent is just a late parent at 1 a.m., so I am just on our city's Twitter page, where they'll let you know road conditions and accidents, seeing if something happened within the last hour and a half, but nothing. 2 a.m. rolls around, and I kid you not, I have called around 15 times and received no answer from either parent. I wanted to call the police at that point, but also didn't want the kids woken up and taken out of the house at 2 a.m. I was hoping that the parents would walk in, and although I'd be angry, at least they're fine, but again, that didn't happen. At 5 a.m. I decided to call the police and report the parents missing, and I told them I couldn't keep them after having them all night. The police showed up at 5:22 a.m. and took a statement from me. I was asked for the parents' numbers, and the police asked if I could stay with the kids until they could figure out what exactly they're going to do. At this point, the neighbors are outside, and the woman directly next door told me she could stay with them, but I didn't know their relationship to her, so I told her I'd wait with the kids for a bit. At 5:48 a.m., they roll up and are greeted by the police. The mom ran into the house, thinking something had happened to the kids, and sighed when she saw they were there. Our phones died, and we didn't know how to get home from the venue is what she said to me, and I was fuming. I called them irresponsible and the shittiest parents I've ever worked for. I demanded she pay me on the spot, and I left. I got a super long message about how this is my job and I'm a huge asshole for disrespecting them and calling the police. She felt like I could have left them with the neighbors or called the emergency contacts, not the police. Am I the asshole? You did the right thing by calling the cops when they didn't show up until almost 6 a.m. They should have been prepared for their phones dying when they are parents. It's fishy they got lost for that long. I wouldn't babysit for them again either. What do you expect from your friendly ex-spouse when it comes to entering your home to socialize with your adult child, who is a senior in college? I'm the 15-month duration, 53 female girlfriend of a 57 male. We both divorced in 2009 from others. I've been invited to move in with him. His daughter is out of the house. His son has a year left of college. Son is home every weekend to spend time with longtime girlfriend. Boyfriend and I decided to take it super slowly. Basically, I live with him 6 days and a random 7th day, I go back to my house, 45-minute away, to get mail, check security and utilities. Basically, my person has moved in, but all my possessions and furniture are still at my place. This has been the case for a while. The main question is about his ex-wife. I'll answer questions if asked, but it's not about her personality. We are friendly. There is little animosity between my boyfriend and her. She has always come over. Not sure if she announces her intentions to my boyfriend, but she does to her son. The son we hardly see because he's always with his girlfriend, so we don't always get a heads up from him. Basically, on any random Saturday or Sunday morning, the ex-wife will walk into the house. No knock, no text saying she is here, and she is completely soundless upon entry. One time I was in the kitchen grabbing a cookie before breakfast, a rare occurrence for me, and my back was turned. When I turned around, she was standing in the kitchen about to say hi. I inhaled so hard and startled that the cookie crumbs made me cough, and I tipped a plastic cup of water over accidentally. I happen to still deal with post-traumatic stress disorder from the result of an abusive stalker ex-husband, apparently. I thought moving 12-hour drive away from him would have solved that, but clearly, I don't like surprises in the form of an actual person in my private home, unannounced. I related this to boyfriend, how I don't like it, and he offered to say something. My mistake is that I told him not to. I figured that he clearly doesn't have a problem with it, but I do. I figured it's best to set my personal boundaries with her, 55, woman to woman. He needs not to be in the middle. This leads me to post here. Yesterday I'm in my pajamas while boyfriend made breakfast for he and I. She quietly walked in. She said hi. I barely lifted my head to acknowledge her because I was in a surprise, shock reaction to her. My opportunity to state my boundary thwarted by the son, who said he was getting in the shower. She came early. Breakfast was ready, so she awkwardly waited in her son's room. It was so freaking weird it threw me off. I couldn't find the words to confront her. I never want to with her son present. He's 20, by the way. Turns out the two of them went on a hike right by her house. So I ask, why the heck would she need to pick up a young man who has his own car, who lives 25 minutes away from her, to get him to go on a hike right by her house? I think the answer is obvious. By coming over unexpectedly, she gets front seats into her ex's real life, and now, my life. This is unacceptable. Am I being unreasonable? Too long, didn't read. Should I confront nosy ex for unannounced visits? If so, considering the feelings and routines of her 20-year-old son, how? Thanks for reading. It's important to establish communication boundaries within the household and let your boyfriend handle discussions with his son and co-parent. You deserve to be comfortable in the home you're moving into, but it's essential to respect the existing dynamics that were there before you arrived. Setting personal boundaries with the co-parent shouldn't be your responsibility, especially if it makes you uncomfortable due to past experiences or trauma. Instead, let your boyfriend manage the situation and focus on ensuring everyone's needs and comforts are met within the household. I, 25 years old female, love my partner, 30 years old male, but I am feeling very disconnected and lonely. To summarize, I love my partner, he is a good person overall, but I am feeling more and more disconnected. We have different personalities and I am an immigrant, and I feel like he does not emotionally support me enough. For context, my partner brings me flowers, we write letters to each other, we go out, he helps with house chores, etc. He's a good partner, but I am starting to feel more and more disconnected, and I also feel very lonely. I think I feel emotionally disconnected because it feels like he doesn't emotionally support me in life, and he doesn't understand my situation as an immigrant. I am from Brazil, and I came to the United States by myself with a full ride scholarship, and I'm basically financially dependent since 18. My parents don't even know English, so I had to take care of myself, and I had absolutely no support network. My boyfriend, on the other hand, never left his city. He had, and still has, a lot of support from his family, and he is a lot go with the flow type of person because of that. Because of these differences, I am definitely a planner and more of an anxious person, and we really are opposites in that sense, but I am trying really hard to work on it, and I improved a crazy amount already. However, he often thinks that I'm overdramatic and an overthinker. I feel like he is not as emotionally available in the sense that he is not empathetic, and he keeps saying that I'm negative about the future. But he can't understand that he is a lot more privileged than I am, and I was only able to get to where I am today because I am an overplanner. I am also currently in a situation where I'm also feeling isolated. I have no close friends or even co-workers. I work from home and I'm basically the only employee at my organization. Also, he spends most of his time watching sports, and I feel like we don't spend a lot of quality time together. I am honestly trying really hard to make friends, but I feel like it is extra hard as an international to make friends where I am. This also contributes to my feeling of disconnection, as I feel he doesn't understand the immigrant experience, and also he doesn't put effort into understanding more about it, if that makes any sense. Finally, I am currently in a very uncertain situation because my visa expires in July, and I also have not visited my family in Brazil since 2022. I am trying to about the possible paths for my future, but again he keeps saying that I am over-planning, and once he said I was researching like a psycho, referring to me thinking about visa possibilities to stay here and possibilities if I need to go back to Brazil. Every time we talk about it, it ends in an argument. It did get badder after we had a very bad argument, and I honestly thought we would break up. In the next day, we were able to have a much better conversation and things went back to normal. However, this still makes me feel bad because it's a very important topic, and I feel like I should be able to talk about it with him, and he should be able to offer emotional support. Am I being too harsh on him? Other than that, he is a great partner and we do usually talk through things. We never yelled at each other, etc. However, it definitely seems that we are having more arguments than usual, but people say it's just a phase. We have been living together since June 2023. It always amazes me how some people can ignore mountains of evidence and cling to their misguided beliefs. Tifu, and ensure people will find a way to discredit anything that challenges their worldview. 3. It's frustrating when logic and facts seem to have no impact on someone's thinking. 4. Confirmation bias is a powerful thing. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.